Harley Davidson Softail lineup versus their touring lineup. What are their key differences? You know, what kind of bike is best suited for certain riders? Why am I still riding a Softail and haven't upgraded to a touring bike? These are some of the questions I constantly get asked, and they're the questions that we're going to cover today. So let's jump on the bike, go for a spin, and let's talk about it. G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Michael, I'm the Moto Barista, and we're out riding this beautiful winter's day by the beach because why the hell not? So we're going to take a little ride along the coastline and talk a bit about Harley Davidson Softails versus their touring lineup, and a bit about where I'm at with my Sport Glide, and maybe answer a few questions that I've been getting from people. Alrighty, so let's start things off with this. If you're going to be predominantly riding 2 up, you know, over 50%, maybe even more of your riding is with a passenger, I'm going to say just go a touring bike. And you can probably just end the video here if that helps make your decision. Having that extra weight on the bike gives you more stability. The way that the chassis is designed, the frame and the suspension combined, it's designed to give you that solid feel on the road. It makes the bike feel really planted, particularly at highway speeds and freeway speeds. And it's just going to give you a lot more confidence when riding with a passenger. Now, of course, there are some bikes in the Softail lineup that are designed to ride with a passenger too. Bikes like the Heritage and, you know, even the Sport Glide that I'm riding here. But because they are a lighter weight bike, more of a lighter weight frame, and the suspension is designed to be a little bit more agile, a bit more performance oriented. Not saying it's a performance suspension by any means, but in comparison to touring bikes, you're going to feel the weight of the passenger a lot more, and it's going to affect the handling and the feel of the bike far more than the touring bikes will. Now, if you're a solo rider, you need to ask yourself, what kind of riding are you predominantly going to be doing? Are you going to be predominantly commuting in the city? Are you going to be doing predominantly long distance coast to coast riding? Are you going to be doing a mix of everything, kind of like me? It's pretty clear if you're on the edge of either of those scales which bike to go for. You know, mainly city, you're probably going to go for a Softail, something like a lowrider, or, you know, a street bob, fat bob. And if you're doing mainly touring coast to coast, then, you know, a touring bike's going to be best suited to you. A Road King, Road Glide, any of those big fairing bikes are going to be great for that. The real discussion comes into play when you're someone like me and you're looking for something that's more of a Swiss Army knife. It's going to tackle everything you throw at it. And I think you have to weigh up your priorities in each of those riding scenarios. Meaning, do you want more comfort and performance in your long distance riding, or do you want more agility and nimbleness in your city commuting and maybe twisty performance riding? I think once you kind of weigh up where you prioritize your performance in those categories, you start to work out which bike is best suited for you. There's always going to be compromise. Don't forget, you can always customize your bike. That's what makes Harley Davidson so great. So if there is a aspect of the riding that the bike in particular falls short at, you can always improve it with aftermarket parts. For example, you know, we can look at the performance bagger movement and looking at some of these absolute killer road glides that are coming out, you know, with aftermarket suspension, making these bikes handle really, really well. So these are all options open to you. And I would just think about prioritizing the aspect of riding that you want to do mostly. Alrighty, so next up we're talking about value, and this is where it gets decisive for me and really comes down to why I am really happy with my Sport Glide and I have just no desire to want to upgrade to a touring bike. Now the flagship touring bikes are unmistakable, of course, due to the fairing and everything that comes with that, whether you're going for the Street Glide or the Road Glide. And I love the look of those bikes. The Street Glide, that batwing fairing is so nostalgic and so iconic, and I think it's just such a beautiful motorcycle. And the Road Glide has this aggressive shark nose fairing that, you know, dominates the road, in my opinion. I mean, it just looks so mean and menacing and commanding. And there we go, some beautiful Harleys over there. I think that was an Ultra. My problem is that I don't want what's in the fairing, and it's taken me a while to realize that it's just something that I don't need and I don't want. So in particular, speakers. You know, we're obviously paying a premium to have speakers in your motorcycle, and I don't want speakers in my motorcycle, I've realized. Mainly because the speakers that come standard right now aren't amazing quality, and most people I see do upgrade their speakers, so that's an extra added cost. The second thing is, as well, is I don't want to be blasting music out loud so people can hear what I'm listening to as I pull up at the lights, for example. I just find it obnoxious, in my opinion, and that's not for everybody. It's just again, my opinion. I would much prefer to have my headphones in and you know, keep that to myself. And also, I usually listen to podcasts, so again, I want to keep that internal. I don't want to be broadcasting, you know, some of the podcasts I'm listening to out to the public. Another big factor in that as well is wind noise. You know, wind noise is really damaging to ears over long periods of time, and having speakers means that you need to be blasting that music out to get over the wind noise. Whereas when I wear earbuds, I'm blocking out that wind noise, and which is protecting my ears, and also, of course, providing the music that I want to listen to. The next point, of course, is the infotainment system and the navigation that comes with the bikes. Now, I think it's a really beautiful display that Harleys have with their infotainment system, but of course, no one is using the maps that come with the Harley system, or any automotive system for that matter, whether it's in a car or on a motorcycle, because navigation sucks unless it's really Google Maps or something similar like Waze. And everyone has their phone mounted on their bikes, and they're using their phone for their GPS. So again, what am I using that navigation for, except to see some of the, you know, interesting diagnostics that that are made available? I just don't see the value in that for me. I would much rather have my phone nicely mounted up on my handlebars here, and I use that for all my navigation that I need. And I can obviously control my music, my podcasts if I need to from here. Street Glide specials and the Road Glide special, in my opinion, are a little bit behind the time. They're still in that big wheel bagger design. They've got lowered shocks, they've got stretch bags, and people don't want that anymore, in my opinion, from what I've seen. I think people want more performance orientated bikes. They want, you know, higher suspensions. They want you know, bags that aren't stretched so that they have more lean and they're not going to get scratched up in corners. So again, these are things that I personally don't see value in, and again, why I'm happy with the Softail. You might be completely opposite. You might see value in having an infotainment system, having navigation, having speakers. That's awesome. Go for a touring model. Okay, ready? This is my favorite bit of this road. Come up over this crest, and oh, look at that view. Such a beautiful coastline. Surfers are out. God damn, I'm lucky to... I know I'm lucky to live here. This is winter. Technically, we've just started winter. So So that pretty much sums up where I stand between the two lineup, and I hope that there was a little bit in there that could help some of you possibly in deciding which motorcycle is right for you. Now for me in particular, how I am with my Sport Glide right now, I just seem to love this motorcycle more and more with every passing day of riding it. I love how comfortable it is on long distance. I love commuting. I love how nimble it is in some of the twisty corners. I just enjoy this motorcycle so much. So I have no intention of upgrading, of changing. You know, I often play around with the idea in my head, and I have so many ideas of, you know, if I were to get a touring bike, you know, what would I get and what would I do to it. I really like, you know, just imagining customizing bikes, because I just love motorcycles. I love thinking about what I could do with motorcycles. But for me right now, I'm just so happy with this bike. I do love it. It's tackling every kind of riding that I throw at it right now. Do I have any plans going forward with the bike? To be honest, right now the bike is exactly where I want it. I've got the handlebars sorted, I've got the cam sorted, the dyno chin's all done, and I'm just happy with how the bike is performing. I think in the future I might look at doing suspension upgrades, but we'll see. That's really not a necessity for me. That would be more of a nice to have. So it's just not a priority. There are other things in my life outside of motorcycles that I want to start turning my attention to, particularly in terms of business goals. Exciting times. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you want to see from the touring bikes? What do you want to see from the Softail line going forward? I'm interested to know what you have to say on the topic. As always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate everyone who has done so far. Ride safe out there, everyone, and I'll catch you on the next video. Alrighty, peace.